That's weird. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name's Ellie, like I said, and I'm so excited to be sharing tonight about the shred. I'm gonna start with just going over a little bit of what it is and why it works, why it matters, and then we will hear some stories at the end of people who have done it and what their experience has been and how it's really working in people's lives. So to start, I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to pull up my little visuals here. I'm so glad you're all on Zoom so that you can see it. Okay. So the Shred10. Yay! I love the Shred10. It's made such a difference in my life. And I'm going to start out, we start out a little bit dark. We share kind of a little bit about what's happening in our world right now, which is why we need to do something like the shred, but I promise that we end with hope and positivity. So I'm just going to jump right in, and the whole thing total will be about 20-25 minutes. So just so that you guys know, we'll try to wrap up by 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Okay, so there are two startling trends going on in our world right now. And the first is that environmental toxins are increasing, right? Who feels that? I live in Los Angeles. It's like all the windowsills are covered in like a black dust every week. You know, I clean it and then it's like, where is this black dust coming from? It's pretty scary. I can't imagine what my lungs must look like. But thousands of new pesticides and herbicides and other chemicals are being introduced into our world every year. There is more, hold on, we have someone who wants to join. Welcome, Patricia. We have, more environmental toxins than ever before in human history. Our food, GMOs being used. Our soil is not what it used to be. There's, where I live, you're not even allowed to swim in the ocean after it rains. I'm like, I don't even want to know, what's going on that is the reason for that. But I know that it's all about the toxins in our environment and how they are increasing. Now, meanwhile, our food quality is decreasing. So if you go to the grocery store, I'm sure you all feel this. It's like our grocery stores now actually have more food-like products than actual food, right? Aisles and aisles of foods with preservatives. Even if you're shopping, for mostly plants, it's, they've got growth hormones, pesticides. Our food is not as nutrient dense as it used to be. It's shipped long distances. It's picked before it's ripe. And then, most of us, especially if you're like me and you grew up in the 90s, like I was raised on processed food. I've certainly become more conscious of what I put into my body, but I definitely have eaten and continue to eat food with flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, GMOs, genetically modified food. And, I really feel that we don't even know the extent of really what's being done to our food. And so both of these things are happening at the same time, and it's really creating, excuse me, it's creating a perfect storm. So what used to, it's like our generation, the generation alive on the planet right now, carries a higher toxic load than any previous generation. Because really what you need to move the toxins out every day is a ton of really high quality plant foods. And we're just not getting that, mostly because, first of all, we're busy, we have a lot going on, but also because it's just not available to us because of the food, the quality of the food that's available to us. So I'm just going to start with this slide and then I'll expand it so you can see the rest of it. Okay, so hopefully you can just see the top part. So most people are carrying around some extra weight. Not always, but that's a pretty common experience, that people are, you know, wanting to lose a certain amount of weight. And it's okay if you're not wanting to lose weight. The shred is definitely not only, you know, for weight loss, for sure. But I do just like to address this because I think we live in a culture that is a very diet obsessed culture. And I actually saw this it was a magazine article recently on the front of the magazine, and it said, the new diet trend is not dieting. And I was like, great. we don't want to diet. We want to live a healthy lifestyle. And this is why. So basically, when there are a lot of toxins in our bodies, which we all have, you know, that toxic load, which we just talked about, our organs enrobe themselves in fat to protect them from the toxins. So that's why, you know, most people are carrying around extra weight. It's actually a protective layer to protect the organs from those toxins. So when people diet and exercise without proper nutrition, it stresses the body. And you may burn fat temporarily, like when people like majorly cut calories, or like, okay, this week I'm going to cut out a lot of different food groups. I'm going to not eat carbs. I'm going to not eat, you know, I'm only going to eat meat and vegetables. And it's like, or, you know, hopefully they're eating vegetables. But the point is, you may burn fat, but your vital organs are exposed then to the toxins, and you feel worse. And that's when the rebound happens, because self-protection kicks in, causes increased fat retention and fat production. And that's when you see people do that yo-yo dieting, you know, their weight goes up, their weight goes down, their weight goes up, their weight goes down. This is why. So what we're really guiding people to do and trying to help educate people on is the difference between dieting and cleansing. So cleansing is when you give your body the nutrients it needs to be able to actually move the toxins out. And you give your body a break from from the inflammatory toxic foods and habits and, you know, things that we're doing, alcohol, caffeine, you know, processed foods, sugar. You give your body a break from those substances, and you give it the nutrients it needs so it can actually move those toxins out. And it's done in a very gentle way. So you're not shocking the body, you're not stressing the body. And as you get rid of the toxins, you shed the fat. And the shedded fat is the result of the reduced toxicity. So you lower your toxicity, your body's able to shed the fat. And so then you're able to move to maintenance. You don't have to constantly be, you know, dieting or trying to lose the weight. It's like if you are able to really give the body the nutrients it needs, allow it to move those toxins out on a daily basis, you can have long-term, better overall health, less fat, more muscle, and most importantly, no rebound. So this actually becomes a lifestyle and not something that you're even really thinking about. That's really the goal of this, is that it becomes a lifestyle, and the whole paradigm of dieting goes out the window. So Morgan, Brenda, Victoria, and I, and some of the other women on this call have aligned with a company that we adore that helps people with simple, affordable ways to get more plant foods in their daily life and in their daily, you know, diet. So one kind of concept that this company pioneered is vertical aeroponic growing. And it's brilliant. My husband and I have one in our backyard and we love it. And we just had a salad last night with our lettuce from our tower garden. We plug it in. It uses as much electricity as a light bulb. It's very good for the environment. And it filters through a mineral solution, and you can grow, you know, anything that isn't a root vegetable, lettuces, herbs, all super clean. You know, I say to anyone, if they're into local clean eating, you can't get more local or clean than this. Like, it's never been sprayed with anything. It uses 90% less space and 98% less water than soil growing. So it's great, in California, has been a drought. And it's got an increased nutrient density in some of the crops. They've been studying it to show how it compares to food grown in soil. So it's amazing, and it really gives people a great option to, again, be able to get, just when you have this in your backyard, it becomes a no-brainer. It's like you just are clipping, greens into your smoothie, into your salad, and it just makes it so much easier and more convenient to get those vegetables in. The other kind of concept that this company pioneered is plant powders. So essentially what they've done is taken 50 or 45, 50 now with the omega. We have a vegan omega, which I'll touch on. But in the fruit, vegetable, and berry blend plant powders and our vegan shakes, there are 45 whole foods. You can see them all on the screen here. And they've been blended up, dehydrated, and concentrated into capsules for adults and chewables for children. So it's the concept, like the idea of fresh pressed juicing, but without the water or the sugar or the mess. I love juicing celery. I'm on the celery juice wagon for sure, but I do that maybe 3 times a week. Like, I definitely don't have the desire or time to be juicing every day. And that's, one vegetable, which is great and has great health benefits, but this is a way for me to get a massive variety in a very convenient way. So I pop these in the morning. I take, my capsules, I drink a shake, and I'm flooding my body with plant foods. My mom was introduced to this concept 15 years ago. I was a teenager, and it has completely changed the picture of my family's health. Digestion really helped heal my gut because it's incredible for the microbiome. You can imagine getting all these different plant foods, all the nutrients, vitamins, everything from this variety of plants every day. It's a huge game changer for everything, but in particular the gut. It really helped my skin, my energy. When I started drinking the shakes, I said to my mom, ever since I've been having these for breakfast, I'm staying awake in my classes and I'm doing better in sports because I was nourishing my brain and my body for the first time. It helped my sister get off of her ADD medication because it's so great for focus and concentration. It helped me get off allergy meds, and no one in my family has been on antibiotics in 14 years. So it's been a huge, huge game changer for us. It's my daily foundation. I love it. And if this is the foundation of the shred, because I'm going to go into what the guidelines are of the program. But the reason that the products are the foundation is because it is, I'm just going to say it is virtually impossible to get that amount and variety and quality of fruits and vegetables every day. Like, I would be chopping and chewing all day long if I were trying to get that every day. And so it's really about, the shred is actually not so much about cutting things out, although we do, eliminate some toxic food groups. It's really about adding in more of the good stuff, adding in more plants, adding in, plant powders, the shakes, just like flooding the body with plant foods. And you'll be amazed when you do that. You really, it changes it's changed my cravings. It really has helped me eat more plant-based, make better choices. It's helped my blood sugar, which I'm going to go into. So that's the products, and we can get you more information on that if you want. Like, there's a video about how it's made, and there's research. It's the most researched nutritional product in the world, which I'll get to in a second. This is an important thing to think about. I'm not going to go a ton into details, but essentially we have this myth in our culture that if you have willpower, it's easy for you to, make good choices. And some people have good willpower and some people don't. And willpower is really a function of your blood sugar. So if you're eating foods like, if you wake up and have a cup of coffee and a scone or a muffin, that is a high glycemic meal that's going to spike the blood sugar. And then a couple hours later, there's going to be a crash and you're going to be reaching for the next, thing to raise the blood sugar again. Whereas if you're eating low glycemic foods, plants, our vegan shakes, greens, nuts, seeds, healthy plant foods, you're going to have nice even blood sugar and you will want to keep eating that way. You won't have the cravings that are a result of the really crazy, high, low, spike blood sugar. The shakes are low glycemic, like I said, vegan, non-GMO, gluten and dairy free. They are a great breakfast, pre or post workout drink, afternoon or late night snack. I cannot promise this guy doesn't come with it. He comes separately. It's really about shredding the food, toxins, and habits that are not serving you for 10 days. And this program is for anyone. You can keep doing your job. You can keep, living your life. It's not the kind of thing where you have to go just be starving for a week and cut yourself off from the rest of the world. These are the guidelines. So for 10 days, you eat more real food, take the Juice Plus Trio capsules, the plant powder capsules, and 2 of the shakes, which are the slide that I showed earlier with all the different plant foods. Drink plenty of water, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, and exercise most days. So we say 30 minutes of whatever exercise you will do. It can be walking, it can be yoga, it can be running, just whatever you will do. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're moving your body. And you want to eliminate gluten, dairy, caffeine, alcohol, processed foods, artificial and refined sugars, and eating 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. So you want to give your body a chance to really digest so you can go to bed on an empty stomach and your body can do the cleansing and, everything it needs to do overnight. That guideline I find is the biggest game changer for people. When they cut out the late night eating, it is unbelievable. And you wake up refreshed with mental clarity. It really helps digestion. When you go to bed on an empty stomach, it's a really powerful thing to experience. Here are some of the most common results: craving more fruits and vegetables, getting to a healthier weight, better recovery from working out, improved sleep, energy, healthier hair, nails, and skin, improved regularity. That's a good one. We had a girl say once, if you don't know what regularity is, you're probably not regular. And you should do the shred just to experience how amazing your digestion can be, and increased mental clarity. Here are some of the places that the products, the plant powders, have been studied. They've been researched at universities and hospitals all over the world. I'm not going to go into this a ton, but this is all on the website if you want to check it out. Okay, so I am going to stop the share right now, and I'm going to hand it over to the radiant Brenda Fredericks, who's going to share her Shred10 story. So take it away, Brenda.
Thank you, Ellie. That was so great. Every time I hear it, I love hearing all that information. Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda. I live in New York City, and I was introduced to Juice Plus in September. And before I started with Juice Plus, and before I did my first shred in December, my eating was really out of control. I was eating too much sugar. I was just eating late at night. I had all kinds of cravings. And when I heard about it, it just made so much sense to me. A friend of mine told me about Juice Plus, and it made total sense because I was always someone who would eat salads, but somehow, you know how it just happens. You just get, and I felt like I replaced my salads and my fruits and vegetables with bagels and cake and stuff like that. So I was definitely not getting my full amounts of fruits and vegetables. So I started taking the raw food capsules, and that really helped. And for the shred, I just loved the idea of eliminating certain foods. I was eating way too much bread. I was eating dairy, which turned out isn't good for me at all. As a matter of fact, I even after the 10-day shred, I never went back to dairy because I didn't realize just how bad it was for my system. And I loved the idea of a cleanse instead of a diet, which just had me feel more loving with my body. And then the best part to me is just doing it with other women, like having the community support to do the shred together. And when I did my first shred was in December, and I can't wait to do it again. I felt great on it. My cravings stopped. I just wasn't craving sugar and breads or anything like that. I was eating less food overall because I was getting more nourished from the inside. So my blood sugar was stable. So I wasn't like Ellie said, like eating something in the morning and then my blood sugar would spike and crash. Like I just felt like I was more stable overall. And I was really glad to hear that it wasn't about willpower. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was actually like chemical reactions in my body, and that I have control over that. And the Juice Plus really helped. So the shred was a jumpstart for me to just eat healthier overall. I actually became obsessed with Brussels sprouts. I buy the Trader Joe's Brussels sprouts and the cruciferous greens, and I just like became obsessed with them. And it was just so fun to just talk about Brussels sprouts all the time instead of bagels. And then I noticed that my skin and my nails were really clear. My nails were strong. And like Ellie said, the regularity, very regular, which is wonderful. It just feels great in my system. And my favorite part, I love the shred, but my favorite part of Juice Plus overall, which Ellie knows my favorite part, is that my son gets it for free. So Juice Plus has a Healthy Starts for Families program. And so your child age 4 to college gets it for free. So he's in college and he gets it for free. And this is a kid who was like, I could not get him to study in school. I was just like, whatever. He took a few years off and then decided to go to college. And he just told me last week, I'm sitting in the front row and I have so many notes. I'm just constantly taking notes. I'm like, this is amazing because he has more mental clarity because he's getting his full dose of fruits and vegetables. So that just makes me so happy. And I feel the same way for myself.
That's amazing, Brenda.
Yeah, I can't wait to do it again.
Yay! I'm so glad you mentioned the Healthy Starts for Families program. And that is an incredible thing. That's how my family started on it. And basically, if an adult takes the product, they can sponsor a child to get it for free for up to 4 years. So it's an incredible thing. And it's really just because the company truly cares about helping families get healthy. And they know that moms will do more for their kids than they will for themselves. You know, a mom would be like, get it for her kid and not for herself. So they want the whole family to get healthy together because that's really what's going to make a difference. And I love that you're obsessed with the Brussels sprouts now. That's so funny. I heard another woman say, she's like, now these days I make a tray of Brussels sprouts for my family and I like eat the whole thing myself because it's just, I like love it and crave it. So
totally. And both my kids are doing Juice Plus now. And my daughter's doing the shakes and making them every morning. So I love it.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have Alex, who is going to share her experience. So take it away, Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. I got introduced to Juice Plus in January. And after a very long holiday season that included many weddings and events that got me really off track. So I was really excited to start the Juice Plus thing, or just the capsules and the shakes. I was very scared of the shred because that is not something I thought I was capable of doing. Hence the willpower thing. But I got on the capsules about a week before I started the shred. And I talked to you, Ellie, and Morgan, and I was like, I don't think I can cut caffeine. I've been addicted for 7 years. And I will like lose my job or have to take 3 vacation days to like handle the migraines. So I ended up, actually weirdly getting really sick. I got strep. And so I spent 4 days in bed, and I was like, you know what? This is a good time to just quit cold turkey, and I feel awful anyway. So I was able to get off of caffeine prior to the shred, and I was like, okay, that's done. That was probably the hardest part for me. And then I started the shred, and it was very intense because I am not used to cutting anything in my diet. I love gluten, love dairy, go out on the weekends with my friends. So it was a very big challenge for me. And the 6 p.m. was really hard too, because I had to pre-plan. So the first 2 days it was really, really rough. I think Morgan texted me and I was like, I think I'm okay, but not really. And so finally by day 3, I figured out how to plan better. Actually, by the end of the week, I was like, went to the grocery store by myself. My sister cooks all of my dinners for me because I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like meal planning and like picking out things and making up recipes in the store. And I was like, who am I? But it was really, really, it ended up being kind of fun. My friends got creative. We didn't go out to dinner on the weekend. We like went bowling instead. So I mean, you can do anything for 10 days, right? So I finally, I got through the whole thing. I've never eaten breakfast before, probably since high school. So the shakes were really, really helpful there. And being like on the shred, you're doing 2 a day. So that was already so much food that you already have preset for you. And by the end of it, I ended up losing 7 pounds and like 1.5 inches off my waist, 1 inch off my hips. It was just very, very good. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm for sure going to gain this back when I start eating normally again. And I haven't gained it back. So it's been like over a month. So I definitely feel like the detox happened and is happening. I did a second shred where I didn't go all in. I kind of modified it. So I think I'm excited to do the next one and go all in again and just keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much, Alex. I love that story. I know we were like, Alex has to share on a call. Like, it's so amazing. I remember when we first talked about it and you were like, I don't have breakfast. And I was like, for that reason alone, you need to do the shred. Like, having breakfast is such a life-changing thing. And so
I know. That was a bad habit that I had.
This makes me so happy. And I think you brought up a really good point that I just want to mention, which is, the capsules, when you order them, they come in a 4-month supply because this is food and it's really meant to be taken over time. It's the compound effect of having that daily, plant food flooding your body that makes the difference. Like, this is not just 10 days and then you're done, because that would not do anything. This is like a deep healing over at least a 4, hopefully, a longer term than that. But initially it's a 4-month commitment, and you can do the shred every month if you want to. So we run a group shred for 10 days of the month every month. And so that's available to you. Like, you'll have the support, you can join in and do it. I love the community support piece of the shred. I think that's the biggest, actually, like, besides anything else, that's the biggest thing that we offer, because it is so different to do something like this with the support of a group. Like, we have a text thread, we have a Facebook group. The person who invited you to this call will be shredding with you. So if Brenda invited you, Brenda is going to be doing the shred in March, and she'll be guiding you through it. If Morgan invited you, like, there were a bunch of different people on the call who invited guests, but whoever invited you, they're going to be doing it with you and supporting you through it. So you won't be alone. I think that's the hardest thing, is that most people try to make changes in isolation, right? We're like, I'm not going to eat, unhealthy food this week. And then it's like, there are donuts in the break room, and it's so hard unless you have that support and other people cheering you on and sharing their struggles and what they're doing and inspiring you. Okay, so we have one last story. I know it's 5:33, so I hope it's okay with you guys if we go a little bit over. But yeah, Victoria is going to share her experience. So go ahead, Vic.
Thanks, Ellie. Thank you, ladies, for your shares. I'll be quick because I know it's Oscar Sunday and lots of goodness is happening. But my name's Victoria, and I have been shredding now for on and off about 7 months. I've done it about every month, not full time. But what I'll say, my favorite part about the shred is that it's slowly integrated from the 10 days to like then it'll be like 12 days, then it'll be 14. Like I'm seeing my life slowly shift, and the catalyst that was this 10 days that I thought was an insane challenge to cut out gluten and dairy and alcohol and caffeine, like all of that, there's no way. And now I'm so proud of myself and so in touch with my body and actually conscious of the different foods and how they impact me, because I've taken a chance and taken time to eliminate these things and really clear out my system. It's such a tool that I can use now, whether it's, like what sounds good in the moment, and I can follow that, even if it's a chocolate chip cookie or whatever. I know it's like an honest craving that's coming up or an honest message, and not just my mind or the shoulds. And so for me, I will say that's been one of the biggest shifts that's happened over the past 6 months using this program on and off, is getting in touch with my body and really being able to tell its signs and hear and listen to it. And then the fact that like my husband and I, we did the first shred, and then like we're like, well, why would we want to go back to eating gluten when that makes us feel terrible? And when I used to have like 3 glasses of wine maybe in a sitting, and now it's like I can have 1 and recognize like that's enough for me. And so this like the shred life has like infiltrated our day to day, and it is so refreshing to not feel bloated by food, to not feel brain fogged by food, to know that even if I make the choice and follow the voice or my desire to have a cookie or pizza, something like that, that my body is pumping these plant powders through it. Every day I'm getting 45 to 50 plants into my body, and that can handle flushing out anything that I need to put in it now, or that I choose to, and it's I'll just say really quick, my diet's probably shifted from like 80% previously. It was like, grains, glutens, pizzas, wines. Like I look back a couple of years ago before I was even in touch with this ability to be conscious of my food, and the dramatic shift now where like, and 20% was vegetables, right? And now it's like 80% is vegetables, and maybe 20% of the time I'll have a pizza or, a burger or something that's not grown from the ground. And it has improved my skin, my sleep quality, my digestion, my elimination system. That is so important. If you know anything about us, we talk about elimination a lot because it is so valuable. And once you have quality and regularity in your elimination, there is nothing that is worth eating to sacrifice that. And that's my biggest takeaway from all of this. So thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Vic. I love that.
Yeah.
And when you order the products and you sign up for the shred, basically you order the products and everything else is free. So the support, the Facebook group, we have an incredible recipe book. And I loved what Victoria said, and I'll just add to it, I've been amazed by how many of my favorite foods and dishes can be made gluten and dairy free. like we have the yummiest recipe for these little protein balls that you can make with the shake mix that are like better than any like cookie that I have had. Like I love, like those are my treat on the Shred. We have like incredible recipes for like, you know, gluten-free vegan, like, or gluten-free dairy. You don't have to be vegan, like you can have meat if you're a meat eater, but like gluten-free, dairy-free pasta dishes, salads, you know, grain bowls, just like really yummy, nourishing food. And it's just, for me, it's helped me learn to like cook and really feed myself in a way that's nourishing. But like Alex said, 2 of your meals each day are a no-brainer shake. So it's not like you're having to cook 3 meals a day, like 2 meals are taken care of, and then you're really just having 1 meal and snacks. So it's not meant to be, you know, you're not meant to feel deprived ever. Okay, so that is that. I'm just gonna share the screen real quick to wrap up and just show the different packages. So where do you see yourself getting started? These are the different options. We have the full line is the fruit, vegetable, and berry capsules and the omegas. I didn't really go into the omegas, but if you want more info on that, we can get it to you. It's a vegan, plant-based omega, and omegas are essential for brain health, inflammation, joint health. If anyone on the call is thinking about getting pregnant anytime soon, you definitely want to be taking omegas. And then 2 shakes a day. And if that's not in your budget, like you can go backwards from there. Like you can just do the fruit, vegetable, and berry capsules and, you know, add the omegas later on. You can just order 60 servings of the shakes, which will be enough for 2 shakes a day on the Shred, and one shake a day after that. It'll last you about 6 weeks. So whoever invited you on the call can walk you through, you know, the pricing, but basically it for the full line, it's like $6 a day. So it's to be on the basic package, it's like $4 a day. So it's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's very, very affordable for what it is. And again, like kids can get it free. So yeah, you would need to order. So our next Shred is starting, I'm trying to end the screen share. I don't know where my thing went. The next Shred is starting March, Monday, March 4th, and we actually have 2 groups thanks Brenda. We actually have 2 groups starting in March. So we have a group starting the 4th and a group starting the 11th. So you could start either date. Just if you want to start the 4th, you would need to order your products by Monday, like tomorrow, ideally tonight, so they can ship tomorrow. It usually takes about a week if you're on the East Coast, and like 3 to 4 days if you're on the West Coast. So, yeah, and if you want to start the 11th, you would need to order, I would say, try to get your order in by Friday the 1st to really ensure that you get the products in time. So yeah, so that's it. That's all we got tonight. And I hope that this was informative and inspiring and that you took something away. If the Shred sounds like, you know, out of range, like it's like, oh my God, I could, you know, not at a place where I want to cut out all those foods, no worries at all. That's very common. It is an extreme, you know, it's a lot of changes to make all at once. And you could totally just add in the products and start with taking the products, having a shake a day, taking the capsules. And a lot of people do that for, you know, several months before they're like, okay, I'm feeling better. Like my body has, you know, detoxed a lot with just having the products, and I want to take it to another level and do the Shred. So it's really up to you. But yeah, I hope that this was informative, and get with the person who invited you on the call, and they can tell you, you know, go through all the different pricing options and help you get started if that's what you want to do. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thanks for your attention.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
everyone.
Thank you.